Hi, I am Sam Yogi. In today's podcast, we will complete the answer to the question that was asked to J. Krishnamurti in the last podcast. Question: meditation and the discipline of mind have greatly helped me in life. Now, by listening to your teaching, I am greatly confused because it discards all self discipline. Has meditation likewise no meaning to you? Or have you a new way of meditation to offer us? Answer given by J. Krishnamurti. After listening to this talk, you may say, I have been told that I should live fully, completely, that I must not be bound by an ideal, a principle, that I must not be consistent. Therefore, I shall do what I like. Now, that is not the idea that I wish to leave you with in this last talk. I am not talking about action that is merely impetuous, impulsive, thoughtless. I am talking about action that is complete, which is ecstasy. And I say that you cannot act fully by forcing your mind, by strenuously molding your mind, by living in conformity with an idea, a principle, a goal. Have you ever considered the person who meditates? He is a person who chooses. He chooses that which he likes, that which will give him what he calls help. So, what he is really seeking is something that will give him comfort, satisfaction, a kind of dead peace, a stagnation. And yet, the man who is able to meditate, we call a great man, a spiritual man. Our whole effort is concerned with this superimposition of what we call right ideas on what we consider wrong ideas. And by this attempt, we continually create a division in action. We do not free the mind from division. We do not understand that continuous choice born of want, of emptiness, of craving is the cause of this division. When we experience a feeling of emptiness, we want to fill that emptiness, that void. When we experience incompleteness, we want to escape that incompleteness which causes suffering. For this purpose, we invent an intellectual satisfaction which we call meditation. Now, you will say that I have given you no constructive or positive instruction. Beware of the man who offers you positive methods, for he is giving you merely his pattern, his mold. Okay, let's understand what K. Krishnamurti or K is saying here. He is saying that anyone, any yoga guru, or any psychologist, or any spiritual priest, or any guru who gives you the so called positive instruction is actually giving you his pattern, his mold, what he knows, and that limits you, that conditions you, that makes you incomplete. And if you follow him, you do whatever he wants, and that is incomplete action. And life to be met fully, to be lived fully, has to be a life of completeness, where whatever action you do is complete. So let's continue with what K says next. Beware of the man who offers you positive methods, for he is giving you merely his pattern, his mold. If you really live, if you try to free the mind and heart from all limitation, not through self analysis and introspection, but through awareness in action, then the obstacles that now hinder you from the completeness of life will fall away. If you really live, that's what Kay is saying. This awareness is the joy of meditation. Meditation that is not the effort of an hour, but which is action, which is life itself. K continues. You ask me, have you a new way of meditation to offer us? Now you meditate in order to achieve a result. Okay, let's understand. What Kay is saying, we are always hankering after a result. If I do this, will I get that? That is what we do when we currently meditate. I meditate for 30 minutes. Will I get peace of mind? Will my blood pressure come down? Will I be in complete harmony so that I can work for the next 12 hours with a smile on my face? If I do this, will I get that? That is what we are doing right now. So K continues. Now you meditate in order to achieve a result. You meditate with the idea of gain, just as you live with the idea of reaching a spiritual height, a spiritual altitude. You may strive for that spiritual height, but I assure you that though you may appear to attain it, you will still experience the feeling of emptiness. Your meditation has no value in itself, as your action has no value in itself, because you are constantly looking for a culmination, a reward. Only when mind and heart are free of the idea of achievement, this idea born of effort, choice, and gain, only when you are free of that idea, I say, is there an eternal life which is not a finality, but an ever becoming, an ever renewing. So K ends the answer to the question here. What he has told us, that mind and heart which need to be engaged for us to understand anything holistically, not just intellectually with the mind and brain. When mind and heart are free of this idea of achievement of a result, if I meditate, will I become spiritually enlightened? Only when mind and heart are free of this idea of achievement, this idea born of effort, choice, and gain. Only when you are free of that idea, only when you are free of any idea, any guru, only when you have freedom from everything that you know, only when you have freedom from the known is there an eternal life. And this life, as per K, is not a finality. It is ever becoming, it is ever renewing. So we end the podcast here. In the next podcast, which will be episode number 21, we will go through the second question that was asked Jiddu Krishnamurti on July 9, 1933 in Alpino, Italy. Thank you. You have a nice day.